When it comes to filing an application for registration of a GI in India, so the applicant need to first identify the class in which the mark is to be the GI in concern has to be applied. So essentially, an application is filed on a form called Form GI1, and with the payment of official fee. Uh, After filling all the form, the details like the name of the applicant, the addresses, etc. So more importantly, the application is generally accompanied with a document called a statement of case, which is a very, very important document. So a statement of case essentially describes the locus of the applicant. So you will basically set out, what is the locus standi of the applicant who is filing the application. It will also talk about the geographical area. Okay, I mean, particularly with the latitude and longitude of the growing areas or the manufacturing areas. We also have to talk about the description of the goods, what is the uniqueness of the product, why it is different from any other product. We also talk about the method of production, how with all the standards and specifications, etc. And also very importantly, historical records is something which the GI registry always insists upon filing it at the time of filing the application. So we do also talk about the historical records, such as the earliest references of this product to the work of history. For example, if I have to give you an example, when we filed the application for the famous basmati rice GI application in India, we gave this extract from from a poem called Hir Ranjha. So this is an extract dating back to some 1776 or something, where we have given the extract of this famous poem where the reference to basmati was first made. So that's the earliest known reference to basmati. So similarly, even when we were prosecuting, if I recall correctly, when we were prosecuting the application for Parmigiano Reggiano cheese in India, we also gave those historical references to how the first Parmigiano Reggiano cheese was being made by the Cistercian monks, and then how it came into an evolved practice. So all of those extracts comes very handy, and it should be filed at the time of prosecuting the application. And also, we also need to identify the inspection body, and we have to talk in detail about who is going to be the inspection body responsible for for inspecting the product to ensure that there is a supply chain integrity for the GI in questions. And as I talked earlier, you have to file this application in class A. For example, we follow the NIST classification in India. If it is for an agricultural product, you can just file it on say on class 30, like tea, coffee, rice, etc. are essentially filed in class say 30. And if it is a handicraft product, you have to designate a separate class, I mean an additional class for that, or rather an appropriate class for filing that application. One of the prerequisite is that you also have to file a geographical map. Okay, so this map has to be certified and also essentially provide the latitudes and longitudes of the region where the goods are manufactured or produced. And also you need to identify the particulars of the GI in question, whether it's a logo, it is a word, or is it a composite logo, etc. And also, as I talk about the affidavit of how the applicant represent the interests of the producers. So these are some of the contents of an application. And once the application is filed, so we have our GI office is located in one of the southern city called Chennai, and so this is the only office for geographical indications in India, unlike trademarks where we have 5 offices. So if anybody wants to file an application, we have to file this application through the Chennai office only. Unfortunately, as of now, there is no e-filing facilities available for filing of a GI application. We have to file it physically along with all the supporting documents, etc. Once the application is filed, the GI office will screen the application for formality compliance to see whether there is any mistakes prima facie, whether the documents such as the power of attorney, etc., have been filed, etc. Thereafter, once the formality compliance report is issued and if it's been successfully or met by the applicant, there will be a technical committee formed. So this technical committee would be drawn from the they have members drawn from different fields, and this committee, along with the the registrar of GI, will basically examine the application, and based on that examination they will issue an examination report. Okay, so once the examination report is issued, the applicant must necessarily file a response to it within the time stipulated. And once the application, once the examination report is satisfactorily filed and responded to, the GI registry will advertise the application for the purpose of oppositions, which is for a period of 4 months. And any person can oppose the application within this 4 months window period. If no one opposes this application, then the GI will proceed to registration. Once registered, a GI is valid for 10 years, and you can keep on renewing till perpetuity at the end of every 10 years period. However, if there is an opposition filed by any interested party, then we have a separate procedure altogether, where the notice of opposition will be filed by the opponent, and the applicant will file its counter statement. Then the opponent will file its evidence. Then it will be the applicant's turn to file the evidence, and then the evidence in reply, and it will set down for hearing. Currently, it takes about 2 to 3 years for a GI to proceed to registrations in India. But again, this is not something set in stone. It also depends on the facts and circumstances of each case.